All right, guys, how's it going? I know I just saw you a little bit earlier today, but I have got to. Apparently, new trailer dropped for the Snow White remake, and based on what I've seen, apparently the trailer, it's not good. Which to me, this is actually kind of hilarious because it's like because I actually have an ancestral bloodline to the Grimm brothers. Hmm. Yeah, I'm actually related. Like, of course, it goes back a ways. I'm actually related to the authors of the Grimm's fairy tales. So Snow White being one of the Grimm's fairy tales, and they're I like yeah. Apparently, this movie is like just shit. It's been like it was just like a total shit show. Like ever since Rachel Zegler opened her big fucking mouth. Um, she said the original one was weird. You know, um, she got like a ton of backlash for it. Like a lot of people been shitting on her about it. Personally, I'm kind of glad she made that comment, not because I like what she said or whatever. I certainly don't believe me. Um, but what I find kind of like comical about all of it is like I'm kind of glad she said it because it's like because now we know like what the general sentiment was when they were making the movie. It's like if she was brazen enough to say something like that on like a red carpet, I think it was like a live interview she did or whatever. Um, if she's willing to say that publicly, it's like, what were they saying behind closed doors? You know what I mean? So I'm actually kind of glad she made that comment because now we know the general attitude of the people making the film. Um, so yeah, let's just take a look. I'm gonna. All right. Share screen. Boop. And all right. So okay, I'm guessing this is from when she like fled from the huntsman or whatever. Yeah, buddy. Gonna be a minute. This is gonna be a minute and a half of my life I'm never gonna get back. All right. Isn't it kind of early to be releasing teaser trailers? I don't know. Okay. This was 3 days ago. Okay, so one was 3 days ago, and the other was 8 hours ago. Hmm. Let's go with the 8 hours ago one.
Every year, Old Spice rescue crews save millions of innocent dudelings from care products, not.
No thanks. You're wearing ballet slippers.
So whistle while you work. Whistle while you work. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Certainly not. Yeah, certainly not Rachel Zegler. That's for damn sure. What the fuck? For those of you who are wondering, that's my roommate. I don't know if you hear him. What is she wearing? Like, what the hell are these shoes she's wearing?
Whistle while
The fuck? God, these dwarves really do look terrible, though. Ugh.
you work. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Certainly not Rachel Zegler. Okay. What the hell is this shit? Hey people. That scene in the original movie where she was like running through the woods and all that, you know that wasn't actually all happening, right? It was just her imagination getting away from her because she was scared and in the woods. Whereas here it looks like it's actually real. The fuck? I've never seen a deer's eyes glow like that. Like, what is this? Fucking Gamork from Neverending Story? What the hell? Oh, you have the body of a pig. And those of you who don't get that reference, yeah, you're in a better place than I am. Well, the good thing about her eating the apple is that we know that in this version, the prince does not save her. Huh, ding dong, both witches are dead. God, what the hell is this?
Tomorrow, not
Ew.
next week. Today is the
Speaking
day
of-
you will donate to support.
Oh, that's right. Oh man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking out the Brett Cooper one. Way cuter than Rachel Zegler, anyway. Yeah, that was like a 1 minute video, so. Oh, come on. Let's see what we got here.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Weird. What's up, all you actuals, droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as Star Wars Girl. In today's video, if you didn't guess it, we are going to be talking about Snow White, because Disney just dropped the Snow White teaser trailer at their D23 Expo, and already since it premiered a few days ago, there is over 6 million views, and the like to dislike ratio, if you're like me and you have that little add-on that actually will show you the dislikes, there is over 63,000 likes to over 446,000 downvotes.
Ouch.
Weird. Sorry, Rachel, or should I say Lord Farquaad 2.0. There's nothing weird about this because this looks absolutely horrific. I mean, you really want
That
us to
one was
believe
good.
that someone
That was
as
a good one.
gorgeous as Gal Gadot would ever be jealous of someone that looks like this?
You're progressive in one way, and then but you're just living in a cave. What the f are you doing,
They
man?
don't live in
There's a lot of
fucking
hypocrisy
cave,
going on. I gotta
dumbass.
say, from being a
They live in a
somebody
cottage
who's a little
in the
bit-
woods.
You can skip this video, but you can't skip
Okay.
the truth. Right now in North, children are going to bed hungry every
Even
night.
know when you tell the truth.
Ugly on the outside, but also on the inside. She had the entire internet turn against her when she explained her true feelings for this character.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So right off the bat, she starts by bashing on this film that she's banking on people spending money to see, because this is a very beloved and classic character. This was Disney's first full-length featured animated film, and it was made. Not only that, she gets the story wrong. So it's like, did you even watch this movie? The prince is not stalking Snow White. Do you really think the kiss of true love, the only thing that could wake Snow White up at the end of the movie, would have happened if he was just some random stalker? No. The entire beginning song is her wishing or singing to a wishing well that she wants the one she loves to find her. Now, if you had any ability of critical thinking or common sense, you could piece this story together. Trust me, I did when I was basically an infant when this movie. So did every other person on the planet. The prince isn't stopped.
Yeah, like every freaking kid who's seen this movie. Okay, every kid saw this movie when we were little. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves here. How the hell do you get the story that wrong? Just how? Okay, everybody saw the original movie when they were growing up. Okay, and now I'm really all that into Snow White when I was little, but I'm also not the target demographic. Okay, the movie was clearly made for little girls. Me being a little boy, I didn't watch princess movies that much. And that's kind of, but again, I'm not the target audience for it. But I actually bought it on Blu-ray as an adult. And I put it in after years of not having seen the film, and yeah, you know what? That movie really is it really is something wonderful. It is a really damn good movie. I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm not ashamed to say I was wrong about that movie. Like I said, to me, I just thought it was just some girly princess movie. I didn't really give it much of a much of a thought, like I said. And I was a kid, what are you gonna do? But yeah, this movie. But yeah, the original movie was just fantastic, and it's like, and I really love what Walt Disney did with my ancestors' work. So I'm totally cool with this. So I'm totally cool with the movie now.
Stalking her. They have obviously know each other and have known each other for a very long time. You do realize that the world just didn't magically appear the second that this movie starts. No, there is a backstory. Snow White had parents. She had a father. There is a whole backstory on why she is called Snow White. If you actually took the time to research the character that you're playing and read the damn story, you would know that. You would also apply this thing again called common sense, which is, oh, a king used to rule. What do kings do? Oh, they have to make peace and like deal with other kings and queens and kingdoms and other lands and other nobles. And it would make sense that the other kings would be wondering, remember that one king that died and he only had a daughter and his wife is now ruling? I don't know, maybe we should investigate that. And maybe, just maybe, a prince who grew up alongside Snow White, knowing Snow White, because these people all, don't you
So I've actually looked into. So I have, if you buy the original Snow White on Blu-ray, there's like a whole ton of stuff about the making of the movie. Apparently, the prince was supposed to be like more of a character. He was supposed to be more of a character on in earlier like drafts of the script or whatever. And it's kind of funny because like I keep like the way that he's like described, like apparently the horse was supposed to have a little bit of a personality there. The way he's kind of described in the making of features and all that, he reminds me a lot of Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty. In fact, I'm wondering if that's not what they did. Is like they basically took the prince, and they just kind of like transferred it over to Sleeping Beauty. Like all the ideas they had with the prince and Snow White, they brought it over to Sleeping Beauty. I don't know. It's possible. Apparently the prince's horse was going to be some sort of like comic relief character, which is kind of what Prince Philip's horse was in Sleeping Beauty. So, and then and it's funny. It's like how that kind of carried over. We also see a comic relief horse in the movie Tangled. So, interesting connection there.
think that he might go and investigate and see what the hell is going on over in this kingdom now that the king is dead? I don't know, common freaking sense. And also considering usually when back in this time period, when a king dies and has no heirs, or well, male heirs, I should say, if he's only got one daughter, maybe it would make sense that, I don't know, the prince that's in love with her would show up and try to marry her, so that way.
That's actually a good point. That's actually something that came up in the movie. That's actually something that came up in the movie Sleeping Beauty. Is that King Stefan and I forget the name of the other king, Prince Philip's father, they were going to marry their children together, and like they even sing a song, like when they're getting drunk, they're singing a song. Our children will marry, our kingdoms unite, and it's like, so yeah, that's basically what the whole arrangement was. Is that since the one, again, I forget the short fat king from Sleeping Beauty. He was, he had a boy, and then King Stefan had a girl, and then they were gonna make the two get married, and they were gonna unite the two and unite their kingdoms through their marriage. So this woman who makes this video, yeah, she's definitely making a good point here.
I don't know. It just seems like common sense to me that back in those days, it wasn't typical for women to rule, regardless on if they had magical powers or not. It was pretty typical if a king dies and has no male heirs, another man will somehow step up and take his place.
Okay, so she's sort of right, sort of wrong on this. Women ruling countries, they weren't typical, but they weren't unheard of either. So, like I'm thinking about like Queen Cleopatra. That is the actual Cleopatra. You know, I'm thinking about like Queen Mary. Queen Elizabeth I did not have a husband. I don't think Queen Mary did either. So it's not. So to say that like women couldn't rule, it's not necessarily to say that they couldn't. It's just that they typically didn't. And I think it was mostly just like as a last resort, like when all else fails, all right, just let her rule by herself, kind of thing. I think that's what it had. I think it was something more along the lines of that. So it's not that there's no queen whatsoever in history that wasn't married. It's like, no, that's not true. There were plenty of queens that weren't married.
Not that, out of the ordinary for anyone that knows anything about history would think, but apparently to Rachel that's too outdated. 1937 is outdated. Hun, do you want to know what time period this is supposed to take place in? Do a little research, honey.
We have a different approach to what.
Yeah, and by the way, 50 years from now, 2024 is going to be outdated. Just saying.
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because the guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what's actually going to be. But
see, again, this is one of the things about Rachel that is so insufferable on how she is so out of touch with the story and this character. She was already in love with in the beginning. Like, you don't need to tell the love story. This movie is not about the love story between her and the prince, and it never was. So for her to make that statement just shows how ignorant she is. That's not what it's about. It's about finding family in unique places. That is what this movie is about, is her relationship with the seven dwarves. What it's always been about. The prince is only there in the beginning and shows up at the end. Now, take in mind, Disney did want to have them in more, but this was their first movie and they didn't know how to animate him. They were barely learning about how to do animation properly. Before this, it was all like the spaghetti noodle armed people, like when you see the Goddess of Spring Italy symphonies. So this was the first time that they were really experimenting or getting the realism of animation down, which is what Disney wanted. And they had their hands full with the princess and with all the dwarves and the queen, that they couldn't just add in a prince because they were already over budget, they were overworked, and they were on a tight deadline.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
Or you could get cut out if you're in
journey that
sequel.
she goes to find her true self, and she meets a lot of people along the way that make the journey really incredible.
Could you imagine if a man said this about their female co-star? Oh yeah, their part is so insignificant. It's not really about the love story. It doesn't matter. All of her scenes could get cut. This chick like Rachel would have a complete melty, and it would be an outrage online, and the dude would be canceled and never allowed to be in Hollywood movies again. But because she said it, it's okay. Sorry to break this to you, hun, but all the girls that like Snow White, all of the little girls that look up to characters like Snow White, that adore princesses, don't like the chick that's playing the iconic character, bashing on the prince who shows up and saves the day, that never did anything wrong, nor do anyone with common sense care for that type of blatant sexism. It's fucked up. This is why everyone is turned on Rachel. This is why there's over 4.
This is why so many women are turning against feminism. It's because they're sick of all the man bashing, you know? It's like we got all these freaking single crazy cat ladies freaking talking shit about goddamn men because they don't have a fucking man in their life. But meanwhile, any woman who has men in their lives, you think my sisters appreciate these feminazi bitches freaking talking shit about me, their brother? You think these people took? Okay, do you think any woman who has anything resembling a relationship with her father, do you think they appreciate all these feminists talking shit about their fathers, their brothers, their uncles, their husbands, their sons? So yeah, you're talking fucking shit about freaking men. Keep talking the fuck up. But guess what? At the end of the day, women who have men in their lives don't appreciate single women bashing men. Who would have thought? I mean, obviously, nobody likes having shit, being talked down on like that. Like, so, men. Yeah, men don't appreciate women talking shit about men, and women who have men in their lives don't appreciate women who don't talking shit about men. So yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Goddamn feminists.
100,000 dislikes on this trailer because nobody wants to see Rachel succeed. Nobody wants to see this shitty movie. Everyone was turned off by this because of Rachel opening her big dumb mouth. Now, guys, it does get worse than this. I'm going to do a follow-up video to talk about these monstrosities. And because of the one and only Mr. Peter Dinklage, instead of getting actual dwarves actors to play these characters, we get these CGI monstrosities, all because of the one and only Peter Dinklage. So if you like this video and you don't want to miss the next one, go over to my channel and smash the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. Make sure that bell is set to all. That way you get notifications when I post videos and when I do live streams. And everyone, thank you so much for watching this far through. If you like the video, please smash.
All right, so I don't want to make this video too long, this reaction video too long. But yeah, I pretty much agree with everything she's saying here. She's definitely not wrong about like any of it. She's definitely not wrong about anything she's getting at. So good for her. Speaking of which, hope you guys will check out my YouTube channel. Comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good and fun stuff. Whatever, all that stuff that helps out my channel. I'll catch you guys all later. Take care. And end.